the page missing from every history book about this event. Hello guys, today we will know about the city of Lisbon in the autumn of 1755. A place of white stone and blue water. Please settle yourselves into your linens and find a place of deep rest. This narration is meant to help you relax and fall away into a long and peaceful sleep as we walk through the cooling shadows of a city on the edge of the Atlantic. There is a quiet mystery. A single page from a merchant's ledger found in a box that was never opened. It speaks of a morning that began like any other before the world trembled. But for now, we only watch the moon rise over the Tagus River and feel the cool evening air. The city is built on 7 hills, and the stone houses lean toward one another over the steep, winding alleys. The limestone walls are bright in the moonlight, and the iron balconies are cold to the touch. Every window is small, with wooden shutters that rattle softly in the sea breeze. The air smells of salt and dried cod and orangewood smoke, and the distant sound of the tide against the quay. It is a rhythmic sound, a slow and steady pulse that guides the city into its nightly slumber. In the morning, the light arrives slowly through the Atlantic mist. The sun does not rush. It creeps over the tiled roofs of the Alfama district. The great stone cathedral stands as a silent guardian on its height. The bells begin to chime low and resonant, calling the people to the morning mass. But today, we move slowly. Our steps are soft on the worn cobbles. There is no hurry in our hearts, only the steady breath of the morning. The ordinary people begin their day in the dimness of their small rooms. A family stirs in a house near the waterfront. The room is cramped, but it is cool from the thick stone walls. The floors are made of dark wood, scrubbed with sand and seawater. There is a smell of toasted bread, and the sharp scent of olives kept in a ceramic jar. The father rises first. His movements are deliberate and quiet. He pulls on his breeches of coarse linen. They are dyed a dark blue, faded by the salt air and many washings at the fountain. He dons a simple shirt and wraps a sash of red wool around his waist. His leather shoes are buckled and worn at the heels. He moves to the small hearth and stirs the gray ashes with a brass poker. A small orange glow remains, a tiny spark that has survived the long night. He watches it and breathes softly. The mother wakes the children with a gentle touch on their hair. They sleep on straw mattresses for firmness, tucked under thin linen sheets. The children do not shout. They whisper in the gray light. They know the routine of the morning. They know the chores that await them in the stillness. They dress in simple tunics and pull on wool stockings. Breakfast is a quiet affair, served on a plain wooden table that has been polished by generations. There is a loaf of wheat bread, crusty and golden, and a small bowl of honey from the hills. They eat with their hands. The breaking of the bread is a rhythmic and soothing sound to dip, eat. They drink coffee from small earthen mugs. The liquid is dark and bitter. It settles the stomach for the day ahead. Outside, the street begins to breathe. A water carrier passes by with 2 heavy clay jars slung across a donkey's back. The donkey's hooves make a dull thud on the stones. Thud, thud, thud. The man does not speak. He only moves with the weight of the water. A seagull cries once over the harbor, then falls silent. The mist is still thick, clinging to the masts of the ships, hiding the sharp edges of the horizon. The father sets out for his workshop. He is a carver of cork, a trade of the hills. He walks with his head down, observing the patterns of the stones. Some are white, others are gray. He knows every turning of the lane. He knows the smell of the fish market and the scent of the carpenter's shop where the cedar shavings are being swept for the day. The workshop smells of dry bark and sap. It is a warm, earthy scent that fills the lungs. The carver is covered in a fine dusting of brown shavings. He moves like a shadow in the light of the window. He uses a sharp knife to shape the stoppers. Pulling the blade toward him, the wood curls away. A long, slow, rhythmic paring, falling to the floor. The dry texture of the cork refreshes the father's hands as he works. In the market stalls, the vendors are setting out their wares. There are piles of lemons, bright and waxy. There are sacks of salt from the marshes and dried figs from the south. The colors are muted earthy yellows and deep purples. A woman arranges a row of painted tiles on a wool cloth. Her hands are stained with the blue cobalt of the glaze. She moves them with a steady, practiced rhythm. The children of the house have their own tasks. The eldest boy carries a basket to the fountain. He waits his turn in the shade of a stone arch. The water flows from a brass pipe, splashing into the basin with a hollow sound. He fills his jars, watching the bubbles, circles moving outward, fading into the edge of the clay. The younger daughter stays with her mother. She learns to mend the fishing nets. The wooden needle hums a low, vibrating note. It is a song of patience. The twine pulls through her fingers rough and strong. She watches the needle turn round and round, a dizzying, peaceful motion. The net grows longer, a thin line of brown, connecting the shore to the sea. As the sun rises higher, the city becomes a tapestry of soft noises. The clatter of a wooden cart, the solid wheels grinding against the limestone. The horse's hooves making a rhythmic beat, clip-clop, clip-clop. The driver does not use a whip. He speaks to the animal in a low murmur, a language shared between man and beast. The horse understands and leans into the leather harness. The shops are small and cool, with heavy wooden doors that are kept open to the breeze. Inside, the air is still. A silversmith counts his small coins, dropping them into a velvet bag, one by one. Clink, clink, clink. A cooper beats a hoop onto a wine barrel. The sound is a soft, rhythmic ringing, a sigh of wood being bound by iron. He works by the light of the doorway, his eyes steady on the curve of the oak. At midday, the families gather again for a simple meal, perhaps a dish of stewed beans and a piece of grilled sardine. The sardine is salty and rich, charred over a small coal fire. It is a warm bowl of comfort. The steam rises into the air, blurring the faces of the children. They eat in silence, listening to the wind in the lemon trees. The afternoon brings a dry heat, a stillness that turns the air into a haze. The city reflects the white sun. The shadows are sharp and black. A fruit seller moves through the lane. His skin is dark and lined like a map. He sells his grapes from a small basket. The grapes are cool and sweet. They smell of the mountain dew. It is the fruit of the sun, the sweetness that keeps the fatigue at bay. In the parish school, a group of boys sits on stone benches. They hold books bound in vellum. The teacher speaks in a low, monotonous voice. He recites the history of the voyages, and the boys repeat the names of the islands. A chorus of soft voices, rising and falling like the tide. The scratching of the quill on the paper is a dry, rhythmic sound. They learn the shapes of the world in the cool shade. The streets are filled with the labor of the ordinary. A street sweeper cleans the dust from the church steps. He uses a broom of olive twigs, back and forth, back and forth. The stone turns from dusty white to a pale, clean gray. He wipes his brow with his sleeve and continues his work. His movements are steady, a dance of necessity. A sailor walks by a man with the salt of the Atlantic in his coat. He carries a sea chest of cedar. His eyes are fixed on the horizon of the Tagus, the wide mouth of the river that leads to the deep. He knows the secrets of the currents, the hidden pathways of the wind. He moves quietly, a ghost of the ocean, near the river banks. The docks are a place of slow movement. The women are washing the linens for the ships. Their arms are strong and rhythmic. They rinse the cloth in the flowing water. Splash, pull, splash, pull. The sound echoes against the stone quay. The white fabric spreads out to dry like sails on the grass. They work with steady hands, preparing the future. The missing page, the one mentioned in the whispers of the archive, sits in a wooden box. It is made of thick paper, yellowed and smooth. The ink is brown and faded. It tells of a woman who saw a strange light in the sky, and a man who heard the earth groan before the bells rang. But the people do not know this yet. They only know the rhythm of their work and the comfort of their homes. As the afternoon fades into evening, the light turns to amber. The sun sinks behind the hills of Belém, casting long, thin shadows across the city. The lamplighters begin their rounds. They carry a small flame in a brass cup. They reach up to the oil lamps hanging from the iron brackets, and one by one, a small yellow glow appears. It is a necklace of light, stretching down the waterfront. The families return to their courtyards. The cork carver closes his shop. He sweeps the floor of his workshop, gathering the tiny scraps of bark and dust. He puts his knives in their wooden box, clicking the latch shut. It is a sound of completion. He walks home in the cooling air, his breath making no sound in the salt wind. He is tired, but it is a good tiredness. The mother prepares the final meal of the day, a dish of vegetable pottage and a piece of dried fruit. The scent of the fruit is sweet and heavy, like a blanket of honey over the room. The children help to clear the table. They move with soft feet, careful not to disturb the peace of the evening. The coal fire is fed one last time. The embers glow softly, releasing the scent of the oak. They sit in the courtyard for a time. The father tells a story of the great king, a story of a time when the ships brought gold from the ends of the earth. His voice is a low murmur, a soft vibration that lulls the children. They lean against the limestone walls, their eyes growing heavy. The lamplight dances on the blue tiles, creating shapes that shift and change. The city outside is settling. The noise of the market has stopped. The donkeys are in their stables, chewing on dry straw. The sound of their chewing is a rhythmic, grinding noise, peaceful and constant. The handlers have gone to their mats, sleeping in the straw near the animals. The warmth of the herd rises through the night air, a natural heat. The bells of the city strike the hour of the first watch, 8 slow, deep tolls that vibrate in the chest. It is the time for the locking of the doors. The quiet, the word comes from the sea. Sasigo, the sound of the calm, to be still. The guard uses a heavy iron bolt to secure the gate, preserving the safety for the morning. The city grows darker. The shadows lengthen. The children lie down on their mattresses. The straw is warm and thick. They pull the linen sheets up to their chins. They listen to the sound of the wind in the tiles, a low whistle that sings them to sleep. The father and mother share a final cup of water. The taste of the clay is clean and cold. They speak in whispers about the price of salt and the strength of the roof. The missing page in the box remains silent. Its words are still. Its secrets are a distant cloud, not yet reached. The city is safe in the arms of the night. The mist has returned, thicker now, wrapping the houses in a white cocoon. The river flows on, dark and silent, carrying the dreams of the city out to the ocean. We move further into the heart of the night. The stone is cool and dry. No one walks here now, only the night watchman with his staff and his lantern. He walks with a slow, heavy gait. His shadow is long on the wall. He does not speak. He only breathes the night air. His presence is a reassurance to those who sleep. All is secure. In the small houses, the breathing of the sleepers is the only sound, a chorus of soft, steady inhalations and long, slow exhalations. The heartbeats of the people are slow, synchronized with the pulse of the stars. There is no worry here, only the deep, restorative rest of the weary. The work of the day is done. The work of tomorrow is a long way off. The stone walls of the houses creak occasionally, a settling of limestone and mortar. It is a natural sound, like a giant sighing in its sleep. The small lizards move quietly on the tiles, seeking tiny insects. Their feet make a tiny scratching, a sound so small it is almost silence. The city belongs to the shadows now, and the shadows are gentle. The great stone walls of the castle stand cold and firm. The owls are perched on the battlements. Their wings tucked tight, they do not move. They are like stones in their stillness. The sentries on the walls stand with their pikes, their eyes fixed on the horizon. They see nothing but the gray mist and the flickering light of the distant stars. High above the clouds, the stars are bright and constant. They have watched over the Tagus for 1,000 years. They do not change. They offer a cold, beautiful light that does not reach the narrow lanes, but it is there, a canopy of eternity over the temporary lives of men. The moon is a silver coin, spent on the darkness. As the hours of the night pass, the silence becomes deeper. It is a heavy silence, like a thick wool blanket. It presses against the doors. It fills the courtyards. It slows the blood. The fire in the hearth is now only a memory of heat. A faint scent of smoke and ash. The air in the room is cool, perfect for a deep and dreamless sleep. The missing page, resting in the dark, holds its breath. It knows of the tremors that will shake the foundations. It knows of the wave that will rise from the deep. It knows how the world will remember this city. But that is another time, a time that has not yet been born tonight. There is only the cool, the dark, and the peace. The people of Lisbon sleep on the cork carver, the weaver, the silversmith, the sailor. They are all equal in the night. Their titles and their trades are laid aside. They are only souls in repose, resting their tired limbs, healing their spirits for the coming of the light. The city is a cradle, rocking slowly in the hands of time. The mist begins to drift through the wooden shutters, a thin, ethereal finger of white. It touches the linen sheets. It curls around the clay jars. It is the breath of the Atlantic visiting the people in their dreams. It brings the scent of the salt and the memory of the high seas. It is a cooling touch, a soothing presence in the dark. Somewhere in the distance, a lone dog barks, a long, low, melancholy sound. It is a call to the night, a recognition of the stillness. The sound fades into the hills, leaving the silence even deeper than before. The world is a quiet place, a place of soft edges and blurred lines. There is nothing to fear, only the night. The city bells strike the hour of midnight. The sound is muted by the mist. A dull, heavy thud of metal, 12 times. It is the deepest part of the night, the time when the world is closest to the ancestors, the time when the dreams are most vivid. The people turn in their sleep, a rustle of linen, a sigh, and then stillness. We walk back toward the river, our footsteps making no sound on the stones. The water is low now, lapping against the stone quay. Splash, suck, splash. It is the sound of the earth breathing, the rhythm of the tides, the movement of the moon. Everything is connected, everything is at rest. The missing page remains, its paper cold to the touch. It is a silent witness to a life lived in the shadows of history. A life of simple things, of bread and cork and tile. A life that is long gone, but remains here, in the quiet of our minds, as we drift further and further away, into the mists of the past. The light will come again, but not for many hours. There is no need to think of the morning. There is no need to think of the work, the chores, the heat. There is only the now, the soft, dark, peaceful now. The city of Lisbon is a painting in grays and whites, a masterpiece of silence, a sanctuary of sleep. The shadows are your friends. They wrap around you like a heavy cloak. They protect you from the world. They guide you toward the center of your own rest. The air is still. The room is quiet. The world is far away. You are safe. You are warm. You are drifting down into the soft velvet night. The tile of the roof does not move. It stays still, resting in the dark. Its secrets are safe, for the change is not tonight. Tonight is for the ordinary. Tonight is for the small. Tonight is for the peace of the soul. The heartbeat of the city is slow, so slow, almost a stop, just a gentle rhythmic thud, thud, thud. The mist is the last thing we see, a wall of white that hides the houses, the streets, the river. It is a curtain falling on the day, a final gentle closing of the eyes. The world is gone. There is only the breath, the slow, steady breath of a city and a person at peace. As the stars turn overhead, the sound of the water becomes a distant pulse, a faint reminder of the sea. But the sea does not matter here, in the long, slow shadows of 1755. There is only the quiet, the deep, the endless, quiet sleep now, sleep, sleep, sleep. The earth is cool. The mist is soft. The lamp is low. The night is long. And you are resting so deeply, so peacefully, in the heart of the city, where the missing page waits, and the world is still a dream, a distant, forgotten dream, in the quiet of the night. The limestone walls are strong. They have stood for decades. They will stand for many more. They hold the coolness of the night in their grain, a faint, lingering chill that radiates into the rooms. The families are tucked away, like olives in a jar, safe from the dust, safe from the light, safe in the dark. The river Tagus is a road of silver, reflecting the stars in its ripples. The light is distorted by the water, long shimmering ribbons of white and gold. They dance a slow, graceful dance, never stopping, never rushing, just moving with the weight of the stream, toward the ocean, toward the end of all things. In the quietest corner of the city, a small cat moves across a courtyard. Its paws make no sound on the wood. It is a shadow within a shadow. It stops to look at the moon, its eyes glowing like two small lamps. Then it moves on, disappearing into the shadows of the eaves, a silent guardian of the night. The missing page in its box is a bridge to another time, but we do not need to cross it tonight. We stay on this side, in the comfort of the familiar, in the rhythm of the breath, in the softness of the sheet. The city is a lullaby, a song of stone and sea, sung by the wind for the weary. Sleep is a deep well, and you are falling slowly into it. The water is warm and clear. You sink through the layers of the day, leaving the noise behind, leaving the light behind, reaching the floor of the well, where it is dark and still and perfect. There is no movement here, only the being, the rest. The cathedral bells are silent now. The guard has finished his round. The city is held in a state of grace, a moment of pure, undisturbed existence. The history of the ordinary is the most beautiful history of all. The history of the quiet, the history of the sleep, the history of the night. We leave the city now, moving back through the mist, back through the centuries, leaving the carver and the weaver to their dreams, leaving the missing page to its box, leaving 1755 to the shadows. The narration is fading. The voice is becoming a whisper, a nothingness. The air is cool. The sheet is soft. The heart is slow. The mind is still. The story is done, but the peace remains. It stays with you, a constant companion in the dark, a promise of safety, a promise of rest, sleep, sleep, sleep. The morning is a lifetime away. The light is a myth. The world is a memory. There is only this, the soft, slow, rhythmic peace of the night, of the city, of the soul, drifting, drifting, drifting away into the long, quiet sleep. The streets are empty. The houses are dark. The river is silent. The gates are closed. The future is far, and the rest is near, so very near, just a breath away, just a heartbeat away, in the deep, soft velvet dark of the old city. May your dreams be of quiet lanes and gentle mists, of cool courtyards and soft linen, of the slow pulse of a world that knew how to rest. You are part of that world now. You are part of the silence. You are part of the night. Sleep, sleep, sleep. The end of the day, the end of the work, the end of the thought, the beginning of the dream, the beginning of the rest, the beginning of the peace. Everything is as it should be. All is well. All is well. All is well. I can tell you more about the secret archives of the explorers or the quiet lives of the Atlantic lighthouse keepers. Would you like me to describe the evening routine of a cork harvester in the golden hills of old Portugal? The page missing from every history book about this event. Continued. Hello guys, today we will know more about the city of Lisbon in 1755. As the moonlight spills like silver liquid over the limestone quays. Please allow your mind to drift further into the stillness. Let the weight of your eyelids guide you toward a place of deep restorative quiet. We are returning to the narrow lanes of the Alfama, where the scent of salt air and orange blossoms lingers in the shadows. This part of our journey is designed to pull you deeper into a state of rest, where the only sound is the rhythm of the ocean and the slow, steady pulse of the night. The tide has reached its highest point now. It is a dark, shimmering expanse reflected in the small windows of the waterfront warehouses. The stone pillars of the harbor are cool, retaining the memory of the Atlantic spray that has kissed them for centuries. The sound of a distant ship's bell is muffled by the thick, humid air, tink, damp, tink, damp. It is a rhythmic, tired sound, the sound of a vessel that has finally dropped anchor and is content to rest. We walk past a row of small taverns, their wooden doors closed and bolted against the evening chill. Inside, the shadows of empty mugs and benches rest on the sawdust floors, waiting for a sun that is many hours away. In the outskirts of the city, near the olive groves, the work of the night is slow and quiet. An old basket maker sits by the dying warmth of a small charcoal brazier. He is a man of many winters. His hands are calloused and stained with the sap of the willow. He is weaving a sturdy pannier for the grape harvest. His fingers move in a slow circular motion over and under. The flickering light of a single tallow candle casts his shadow against the stone wall. A large, swaying shape that moves with the rhythm of his hand. The air near the brazier is warm and smells of dry grass and wood smoke. A cricket chirps in the cracks of the stone floor, a tiny, sharp, persistent sound. It is the clock of the countryside, marking the passage of the night. The basket maker's head nods, his chin touching his chest, but he does not stop his work. He is part of the rhythm of the hills, a silent weaver of wood who creates while the city sleeps in its white stone houses. The heat from the cooling coals is a gentle presence, a comfort in the damp sea air. Outside, the alleys are becoming a sanctuary of silence. We pass the entrance to a small chapel where a sailor has left a votive candle in a red glass jar. It smells of beeswax and salt, a faint, spiritual memory of the deep. The jar is heavy and thick. The glass is dark and clouded with age. It sits on the stone ledge, a tiny beacon in the moonlight. We look at it for a long time, letting its stillness become our own, letting our thoughts rest on the soft, flickering flame. The missing page from the merchant's ledger remains unchanged in its box. The ink on the parchment is dry and stable, illuminating the names of goods and the weights of spices. Everything is in its place. A column of numbers sits on the page, the brown ink reflecting the moonlight in tiny, dull sparks, but the hands that wrote them are still, and the room is empty. The window remains open to the breeze, a passage between the world of the living and the world of the forgotten. We let our minds rest on the cool, smooth texture of the paper. Near the Tagus River, the ancient walls of the Ribera Palace are like great, sleeping sentinels, their stone buttresses reaching down like quiet fingers touching the dark water. The scent of the river is stronger here, a mix of silt and seaweed and old timber. A ferryman sits in a small wooden boat. He has a small lantern of oiled paper warming on a flat stone inside his vessel. The flame flickers softly, a low yellow sound. He watches the water, watching the reflections of the stars as they rock in the slow current. The river is magnificent in its stillness. Its surface is like a sheet of hammered silver. The reeds at the edge rustle in the breeze, a sound like a low, whispering sigh. It is the sound of the earth's veins resting. The water has come from the Spanish plains, through the hidden canyons, through the fields of cork. It brings the life of the interior to the coast, but tonight, it only brings the silence of the flow. We listen to the ripple, 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 letting it lull us into a deeper rest. In the houses of the tile makers, the air is cooler. The families are huddled together on their straw pallets, their warmth a shared commodity. A father wakes for a moment to adjust the linen wrap over his daughter's shoulders. He moves with the grace of a man who knows the value of a quiet house. He hears the wind in the roof tiles, a soft, persistent clatter, like dry clay on a drum. He breathes in the smell of the damp earth and the old salt, and he falls back into a dreamless sleep. The children of the fishing families, those who live within the sound of the surf, find shelter in the small lofts of the waterfront cottages. They sleep on the cool wood, wrapped in single layers of coarse wool. The fabric is soft from use, a thin shield against the night. They are like small stones in a forest of timber. They do not feel the hardness of the floor as much as they feel the stillness of the sea. The ocean is their mother, and the night is their blanket. They sleep with their heads resting on their arms. Small and silent in the dark, the stalls along the fish market are dark, but the stone pillars still stand tall. The carvings of anchors and ropes watch the empty space. A sound of the wind through the eaves, the stall of the sardine seller, the stall of the net maker, the stall of the salt trader. They are symbols of a world that is paused. The copper bells hanging from the church tower are all still. 1,000 silent tongues. They are waiting for the dawn. But we are not waiting. We are only being. We find ourselves back at the merchant's house where the missing page lies. The light from the moon seems to pull at the sea mist, creating a halo of white around the limestone. It is a beautiful sight, a glow in the center of the city. We wonder about the clerk who wrote those numbers. Was he happy? Was he quiet? Did he like the sound of the Atlantic wind? We do not need to know. His story is part of the limestone now, a ghost in the grain, a light in the dark. We let our minds rest on the cool, solid surface of the wall. The night is reaching its deepest point, the hour when the pulse is slowest, the hour when the mind is most peaceful. The city is breathing, a low, constant sound that blends with the silence. The world is a tapestry of texture, the rough stone, the smooth wood, the soft mist, the heavy wool. We feel these things in our mind, letting them anchor us to the present moment, to the here and the now. We are safe. We are still. We are at peace. In the great archives of the custom house, the air is dry and smells of ink and old vellum. The ledgers of the empire are like small mountains in the dark. The silence there is heavy. It has a weight of its own. The wooden shelves hold the history of the trade, sheltering the secrets of the merchants. We imagine the silence of the numbers, and we let it fill our own hearts, letting our worries be as small as a single entry, lost in the vastness of the ledger. The Tagus River flows on. It does not care for the ledgers or their secrets. It only knows the pull of the deep. It is a rhythmic, constant movement, a flow of liquid shadow. We stand on the quay and watch the swirls. They are like the patterns of a blue tile, moving and shifting in the dim light. The water is the earth's memory, carrying the day's dust out to the ocean. We let our thoughts flow with it, away from the shore, away from the light, into the deep. The missing page is a beacon for the tired. It tells us that even in the record books, there is a quiet moment. Even in the busy city, there is a rest. We do not need to solve the math. We do not need to find the merchant. We only need to see the page and know that the record is still there. The mystery is a comfort, a page that does not need to be turned. It is a place for the mind to rest, a place for the soul to sleep. The seagull's voice is far away now, a ghost of a sound in the mist. It is right. The world is at peace. The city is resting, and you are resting with it. The weight of the night is a gentle weight, a blanket of salt and haze. It covers your eyes. It covers your thoughts. It covers your heart. You are becoming part of the limestone, part of the shadow, a part of the silence. As the narration begins to fade for the final time, Let the words become only a vibration, a soft hum in the cool air. The city of Lisbon is a painting that is being washed away by the tide. The white becomes gray. The blue becomes silver. The dark becomes a dream. You are floating. You are sinking. You are falling into the long, quiet, beautiful sleep. The missing page is dark now. The moon has moved. The ink is cold. The record is closed, and the room is still empty. But the morning is a promise that we do not need to keep yet. There is only the rest, the deep, restorative, endless rest, in the heart of the night, in the heart of the city, in the heart of the soul. Sleep now. The bells are silent. The mist is heavy. The world is gone. You are safe. You are warm. You are home. Sleep, sleep, sleep into the soft, dark velvet silence of the long ago and the now and the forever. Would you like me to continue this journey through the quiet evening of an 18th century Portuguese vineyard? Or perhaps describe the soft sounds of a moonlit library in old Lisbon?